APR was founded probably around 6.5, 7 years ago, and we are in Auburn, Alabama, probably about an hour and a half south of Atlanta, Georgia. My role is I'm the hardware design manager. I manage the hardware development side of things.
My name is Matt Harris, and I'm an industrial designer for APR. I also do the engine management tuning.
My name is Chris Gerbasi. I am the official R&D technician, and I do all of the nut and bolt stuff.
It's basically an R&D facility. It's where we do all our research, all our development on all our products, and we do a fair amount of manufacturing there.
It's unique. And we're an eclectic group of people at best. We have all kinds of people. We're all, highly functional people. We're kind of a nerdy bunch, to be honest with you. You have to be kind of a nerd to fit in with APR.
Well, I basically do the performance-related engine management tuning for the company, along with one other guy. What we do is, after the EE department gets done cracking the box, we make the performance data changes. We change timing, air, fuel, obviously boost and load levels, basically, that determines the performance of the car. We're the ones that make them go fast.
With our tools that we use to design the products, the time, efforts, manpower, and money we put into the design of the components, and then the material choices and process choices that we use set APR above the rest, in my opinion.
Normally, we can do a stage 3 kit like this in one day's time. Usually you spend about 2 to 3 hours on disassembly and everything, and then the rest of the day reassembling, putting the manifold and turbo and intercooler. It's really not a bad job. It's very involved. There's a lot of steps in it, but it's really not rocket science or anything.
Okay, this is APR's Stage 3 Plus kit laid out so that you can see each individual component. Probably the jewel or the focus of the whole kit would be the turbo. And this turbo is unique. It's not an off-the-shelf turbo. It starts out as a Garrett ball bearing GT28 RS, aka Disco Potato, they like to call it. This turbo, we take the center section and we modify the cold side, the compressor housing. One would be machining this groove to accept this piece, the turbo inlet pipe, so it fits precisely and there's a smooth transition between the both pieces. And then the inside profile of the turbo, of the compressor side, is remachined to match the compressor wheel itself. We've chosen a different wastegate actuator. The wastegate actuator that Garrett chose for the 28RS doesn't quite work as well as it should with the stock boost management system on these 1.8Ts. So we've chosen a wastegate actuator that allows us to manipulate boost the way we need to. Another change on this turbo is the hot side, or the turbine side. We've opted to go with a smaller AR, which helps us to gain boost pressure, maximum boost pressure shorter. It spools up faster. So those are the major changes on this turbo, which makes it unique. When we go from the turbo and explain the manifold that it mounts on, this is our custom APR manifold. Turbo bolts right up to the manifold here, studs already pre-assembled. This manifold is unique in not only the design, but also the material choice that we have this manifold cast in. It's an investment cast manifold, and using that process yields a very smooth inside runner. So there's no porting or anything that needs to be done to the head. Post-process is done to the manifold afterwards, after it's cast. It's cast in an Inconel 625, which has a very high nickel content, which basically means that it has a very high melting point. So you won't subject this manifold to temperatures that are going to make it expand and contract to where we have cracking or issues like that. The next part is the downturn. This will bolt onto the turbo and makes our transition down to the down pipe, which is a 3-inch down pipe. From there, we have a 2.5-inch or a 3-inch exhaust system that you can mate up to the system. We're going to put a 3-inch exhaust system on this car today. But some other interesting parts about this turbo kit is all the inlet plumbing is sandcast components, machined, and then powder coated for durability. This is the inlet for the turbo. It would come down into the turbo and made up like that. For this car, there's a 3-inch MAF housing conversion where we will have our sand cast, machine, powder coated unit that adapts into the stock airbox. The internals are flow straightener and a horn, a MAF horn. All this clips together. It's a beautiful piece. Too bad it's inside the airbox, but this all helps to straighten the air as it enters the sensor housing so that you can get a good reading on the sensor. This kit comes with all custom silicone hoses, 5-ply thickness for strong, stiff hoses that don't expand or get sucked closed. But all of this is custom designed by us, and we have them made from a silicone supplier. This is the MAF hose that transitions between the MAF housing and the crossover pipe that goes across the motor. These are our diverter valve hoses that allow off throttle when you divert the compressor charge back into the system. These are the custom silicone hoses that route it back to the appropriate places. This is a compressor exit hose which comes off the compressor side of the turbo and connects the intercooler system to the car also. This is all still custom pieces, nothing off the shelf. This is all our parts. The kit includes all the necessary gaskets. This is compressor exit side, manifold gaskets, downturn gaskets, head to manifold gaskets. One unique part about this kit is the injector setup for this car. The stock injectors are obviously not sufficient for the amount of horsepower and amount of boost pressure that we're running in this car, so we have to increase the size of the injectors. Any number of 550cc injectors on the market today, but none of them were acceptable in our mind, so we have been in extensive development with a supplier, a manufacturer of injectors to develop our own line of APR injectors, and this is the result. This injector flows 550 cc's, but also has the correct dispersion plate that allows it to atomize properly for an idle or low RPM drivability. But these injectors were too large to fit in the stock location in the intake manifold, so what we've done is designed new seats. You just simply remove the seat out of the intake manifold, clean the threads, chase the threads, and screw these back in place, and our injectors snap right into place. And also, in order to do that, it's a pretty tight fit, and there wasn't a specific tool to do that, so we've also designed a tool that allows you to put a 17mm socket and just screw it right into place. So all the tools, everything necessary to install the kit for unique issues like this are included. For our coolant and our oil feed and return lines, they're all stainless steel for long durability. No issues with these ever rupturing or breaking or fatiguing, so everything is braided stainless steel. It includes all the necessary vacuum lines and hose clamps to go along with it. One thing is we relocate the stock boost frequency valve, and in order to reconnect it to the ECU of the car, we include an extension cable that just allows you to just extend the electrical connections to it. Since the inlet plumbing goes over the top of the manifold, there's a lot of heat generated by that, so we've designed a heat shield. And once you install the inlet plumbing of the kit, you can snap this heat shield around it, which will protect it from the temperatures that are subjected to it by the turbo and the intake manifold. One very good part in my mind about this kit is the instruction manual, because there are so many parts and they're specifically designed to be installed, in a specific location. And in order for you to be able to do that, we've come up with a very in-depth instruction manual, starting out with the components individually laid out. You can go through and look at the parts of the kit, verify that you've got it, know what the parts are called so you can refer to them later on. And then it starts out with big, fat, juicy pictures. A monkey could install this kit. So if you ever have a problem installing this kit, you should probably look at the manual again. You can probably figure it out. One other thing that we replaced are the stock motor mounts. Well, one of the stock motor mounts, there's a pendulum mount on the transverse motor that holds the motor in place from swinging on the top two perches. We replaced those two. There's 3 rubber bushings within that pendulum mount, and we replaced 2 out of those 3. We feel it's a good combination not to transmit as much vibration as possible in the cabin, but give you the response that you should get out of a motor mount. I think that's it for the kit, really.